Welcome to the Talk Like a Leader podcast, where we explore the mindset, skill set, and habit set of leadership communication. Using these tips, techniques, and tactics, you'll be able to talk like a leader to build better relationships and get more done. Your host is Guy Harris, who has more than 20 years of combined professional and military experience in consulting, coaching, and training in areas like team and interaction dynamics, communication strategies and tactics, as well as emotional intelligence. Take it away, Guy.
Hi, this is Guy Harris. Welcome to the Talk Like a Leader podcast. This week's episode is titled Joy in the Journey. This is the third of 4 episodes recorded in the period of Advent 2020. So this is the third week of Advent. It's the week of joy, and thus the title, Joy in the Journey. Let's look at this word joy for a moment. It's a noun and a verb, basically. It's a noun saying that it's a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. So as a noun, it describes a feeling we have as human beings. And as a verb, it means to rejoice. Or a quote that describes this, an example sentence is, I felt shame that I had ever joyed in his discomfiture or pain. That comes from dictionary.com. And so the idea that we can feel joy or we can be joyed. We can have an act or a verb that is joy. The idea behind this episode is really thinking about what you exude as a leader in your team, in your patterns of speech, in your body language, in your facial expressions, in your energy. And what I'm going to suggest is that if you can exude joy as you go through your leadership journey, your team is probably going to do better than if you don't. Now, this is tied very closely to the episode Creating Hope that was from a few weeks ago, and I talked about the idea of the Stockdale paradox in that episode. I talked about how the Stockdale paradox says retaining hope in the future despite current challenges. This really kind of expands and amplifies that idea, the idea of actually expressing joy in the face of difficulties. Because let's face it, as leaders, you're going to face difficulties. Things aren't going to go as planned. And just look at 2020. It didn't go the way I planned it, and it didn't go the way most of my neighbors planned it. It didn't go the way most of my work and church and family planned it. It really didn't go the way really anybody planned it around the world. And yet we can find joy in the struggles despite the struggles. As Winston Churchill said, success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. And getting back to the whole idea of the Stockdale paradox and the idea of creating hope and creating an environment where people can feel energy and enthusiasm, if we can bring joy to our leadership journey, even when we have challenges, we can help our team do a better job. It gets down to the idea, are you focused on problems or are you focused on possibilities? We will always have problems. We will always have challenges. When we confront those challenges and problems, are we going to confront them like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh or Tigger? Are we going to say, oh, well, this is my lot? Or are we going to be as Tigger, energetic and happy no matter what happens? Now, I'm not suggesting you go over the top. I'm not suggesting you become a different person. I am suggesting you learn how to express joy and let your team know that you're happy and joyful, even when things aren't going great. It reminds me of a time when a mentor told me that I needed to learn how to smile. I think I might have actually related that in a prior podcast episode. The idea that this mentor told me that I would be more successful with people if I could smile because people would feel like I liked them. Now, I didn't resonate with that at the time. I really understand it now, though. My body language affects the people around me. When I'm frowning, people will think I'm upset or angry, whether I am or not. When I'm smiling, people will at least believe that I'm in a good frame of mind. If I am upbeat and positive, I'm going to bring energy to my team. The energy I bring to my team is, frankly, the energy my team will have. And it's true for you as well. If you want an example, a great body language and tonal and enthusiasm example that you can see in video, I'd suggest you take a look at my friend and colleague, Kevin Eikenberry. He's my business partner. He's my colleague. He's my friend. And over at blog.kevineikenberry.com, you can watch any of his remarkable TV episodes, and you will see him talk about leadership in a joyful way. I've been around Kevin a number of times. I know he portrays joy even when things aren't going well. And I know it makes a difference for his team. I'm saying that from the perspective of a person who's on the team and experiencing how another person's joy affects them. And I think if you think about a time when you've been around a person who was joyful, even if things weren't going great, you probably felt better, at least for a moment. And when you were around the person who was more like Eeyore, you probably felt worse, even for a moment. So my thought for this week, going with the whole Advent season, we started with hope, and then last week was love, and this week is joy. The themes all go together, pointing toward leadership behaviors in word, in action, in body language, in tone, in outlook, in the way we engage with others, in our word choices and where we focus. Those things matter to people. They matter to your team. They matter to the people around you. And if you can learn to express joy and bring joy to work, even when you're struggling with a difficult problem, you can make a positive impact on your team, and your team can have more energy and get more done, and you can talk like a leader. This has been the Talk Like a Leader podcast. You can listen to this show every week wherever you get your podcast. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Guy Harris, and thanks for listening.